It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Kyle Sorkness from the class of 2013 and also our student body president to offer us a student farewell. Kyle?
Classmates, tonight at this, our commencement ceremony, we have been addressed with words of wisdom and experience, congratulations and encouragement. We and all the work that we have done have been presented to our university president, and we've been granted by him new degrees. Fellow graduates, alumni, it is now my task and privilege to bid you farewell. As I was wrestling with the challenge of how to prepare a farewell address that would somehow do justice to the wide range of experiences that we have represented here tonight, and to speak to our next stages in life, I decided to take a drive. There's a certain path that I've driven occasionally during my years at Concordia. The drives that I've taken down this path have given me opportunities for reflection. I've usually taken this drive alone, but sometimes I've taken it with some of my best friends, some of you. The path starts here on campus and it eventually leads me out of the city until I am alone with my thoughts and feelings. If your time at Concordia has been anything like mine, you've had some of your highest highs and some of your lowest lows. Plenty of experiences that call for this kind of reflection. So, the night that this farewell address was due, I decided to take a drive to think about it. Now, I want the faculty members to know that this act of starting an assignment on the night it was due was totally foreign to me, as I'm sure it would be for any of my fellow classmates. As I took this drive, I found it very difficult to summarize all that we've experienced here at Concordia and offer you encouragement for the future, without simply reverting to appeals to premature nostalgia or graduation cliches. Speaking of cliches, back to the path. As I took this final drive, the dead end sign that I'm so used to meeting at the end of the path, for the first time in 4 years, wasn't there. Hesitating only slightly, hoping the bridge that was usually closed off had been opened for the right reasons and by somebody qualified to do so, I pressed on. Eventually, I was met with a few connecting roads. Not knowing where these roads might lead and afraid I might not be able to find my way, I decided to turn around and take the familiar path back home. However, as I started to do so, it struck me how ironic it was to be crafting a farewell address about embracing future opportunities while so easily allowing uncertainty to send me backward to the safe and comfortable. Deciding these new roads could even provide a better route home, and realizing this address would be rather awkward if I didn't, I drove off on a new path with all my fabricated symbolism now satisfied. At this point, the story explodes in analogy possibilities, but I'll keep it simple. We have not only the ability to take new paths that might be frightening, uncomfortable, or unpopular, but as President Reese conferred upon us with our degrees, we also have the responsibility to do so. And what of that ability and responsibility? Well, if Concordia was successful in her mission, if she truly was our alma mater, our nurturing mother, then she has prepared us. Then she has prepared us for thoughtful and informed living. The liberal arts have sought to liberate us from our old ways of thinking, to free us from prejudice and ignorance, to think for ourselves, but not to think only for ourselves. For then she has also prepared us for dedicated service to God and humanity. Our education has been directed toward not simply occupation, that is, some task that occupies our time and pursues our own wealth, but vocation, that is, a calling from God to be His hands and feet, the instruments of his mercy and justice in this world. We have been inspired to seek not primarily to do well for ourselves, but to do good for others. To that end, then, Concordia has also prepared us for enlightened care of God's creation. As the humanities have aimed to help us become more fully human, we rejoice in our enlightened position over all creation, the pinnacle, while embracing the creatureliness that brings us into communion with all other members of creation. The mission of Concordia places all of this preparation within the context of the Christian gospel, the good news that God has, in his Son, Jesus the Christ, reconciled the world to himself. This gospel is the context because it gives identity, purpose, fulfilling peace, new life. This context is the one in which we are free for all of this preparing, because it means God has done the repairing of our broken relationship with him, with each other, and with ourselves. As we all commence from this time and place, we graduates think of those who have brought us here. Parents, thank you for not only starting us on our journeys, but for carrying us so much of the way. Family members, friends, thank you for your companionship, for traveling along with us, even and especially when the roads were difficult. Faculty and staff members, thank you for sharing this portion of the journey with us, guiding, correcting, and shaping us. Class of 2013, at this milestone, many new paths are before you. As your journeys commence, may you all, by God's grace, farewell.
Thank you, Kyle.